This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1266, 12 Steps to Achieving Happiness by Tammy Strobel of rowdykittens.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Happy Thursday, and welcome to one of the only podcasts in the world where blogs are narrated to you for free with permission from the authors. It's an award-winning podcast thanks to you, and thank you for being part of my weekly newsletter if you're on that. If you're not, today's a really good time to join because I'm doing a book giveaway tomorrow at midnight to someone random on that list. Besides that, you can also be part of the monthly challenge coming up for June, and I have something special coming up really soon. For all of that, go to oldpodcast.com and join the weekly newsletter. For now, let's get right to the post and start optimizing your life. 12 Steps to Achieving Happiness by Tammy Strobel of rowdykittens.com. Quote, "Don't worry about being like other people. People can smell a poser from a mile away." Gary V. from Crush It. For most of our adult lives, we're supposed to get to work on time, follow the rules set out in college, and generally be good boys and girls. We're used to watching the clock, giving ourselves away for money, and desiring gold stars in school. We've become so good at censoring ourselves, we don't know who we are anymore, and we're even less likely to ask hard questions about consumer culture, capitalism, history, law, etc. People feel dissatisfied, depressed, and unhappy because they censored their true self. I think this is the result of too much advertising, driving, television, and not following our true passions. Folks have bought into messages promoted by advertisers that you need a big house, a nice car, name brand clothes, and the latest techno gadget to be happy. I think living a simpler and more mindful lifestyle can help people reconnect with who they are. In turn, people discover freedom and happiness. Happiness is hard to describe and means different things to different people. I think happiness at its core means questioning the status quo and continually rethinking your worldview. Here are 12 ways to achieve happiness in your life. Number 1, don't act like other people. Everyone is unique and beautiful. That should make us incredibly happy. Yet I run into a lot of people who mimic the supposedly cool kids. You don't need to emulate others to find happiness. We are all cool kids with our own interests. Number 2, don't buy your identity. How many times have you run out to the store and purchased the latest in-style shirt? It's easy to get sucked into consumer culture and what we think is stylish. To some extent, we can't avoid being influenced by culture, but we don't have to buy into the messaging. Constantly questioning your choices will help you figure out your principles and preferences. Number 3, cut people some slack. After 10 years of working with rape and domestic violence victims, I've learned a lot about people. And one of the most important lessons I learned is cut people some slack. You have no idea what kind of trauma people walk around with on a daily basis. If your coworker is being a punk, then cut that person some slack. There's probably a deeper reason why that individual is in a bad mood or not treating you kindly. The only person you can change is yourself. Be mindful and don't snap, bicker, or be mean to others. That type of behavior won't bring you happiness or make the world a better place. Number 4, learn how to give. Giving might look different for everyone, but give all the time you've got. Pour yourself into projects and give back to your friends, family, and community. For instance, if you blog, help out your fellow bloggers, highlight their work, give encouragement, and help your blogging buddies improve. If you're into volunteer work, take it up an extra notch and increase the number of hours you give to an organization every week. Learning how to give and be grateful for everyday gifts is an essential component to finding yourself and happiness. Number 5, spend time in nature. I've seen a few credit card advertisements with people frolicking in green fields. Credit card companies seem to know what brings us happiness, and that is spending time outside in nature. However, running up credit card bills won't give you the time to enjoy green fields or hikes in nature. More than likely, you'll be stuck in a cubicle working to pay off your debt. Number 6, find meaning and purpose in your life. Last weekend, I spent some time in Orange County and talked with a few family members about dreams and lifestyle changes. One of my family members has no idea what to do next with her life. This made me incredibly sad. I encouraged her to do some mind mapping and write down everything she wants to do. Don't become a zombie. Finding meaning, purpose, and happiness isn't easy. It's a journey we all have to figure out, but it is possible if we prioritize happiness in our lives. Determine the biggest and most important problem you can solve with your skills, and use that gift to find meaning, purpose, and happiness in your life. We all have unique skills and gifts. Once you figure out what those gifts are, apply them to a problem you care deeply about. Number 7, learn to be satisfied with enough. What is your enough point? How much do you really need to be happy? A number of researchers studying positive psychology have determined that people don't need much to be happy after their basic needs are met. Happiness is found by expressing our values and connecting with others. Happiness is not for sale at the shopping mall. Number 8, meditate and let go. A Rowdy reader left a beautiful comment on my last post about happiness and emphasized the importance of meditation and letting go. Quote, "What is interesting about this exploration of finding happiness, not just on your blog, is that many, if not all aspects of the solutions point towards letting go of or removing things rather than adding anything. If this is considered deeply, e.g. through meditation, then it is possible to discover that happiness is actually already here in all of us. And as your post points out, many aspects of modern living obscure happiness from our day-to-day experiences. We are so heavily conditioned to believe that we aren't happy and need to look for it somewhere outside of our very self, and so heavily conditioned that happiness is something special, like intense pleasure or stimulation of various kinds. But when happiness is present and we experience it, in some ways it is actually very ordinary and so kind of hard to describe," end quote. Number 9, it's okay to ask for help. If you're feeling lost or confused, ask for help. Have some tea with a friend or family member you admire and ask them, what makes you happy? It's amazing what we can learn from others in our lives. The internet is full of amazing blogs and people. Connect with those folks and start asking questions about happiness, personal growth, and living a simpler life. Number 10, be a lifelong learner. Rethinking your perspective is a huge part of finding happiness. If we continually latch onto the same worldview, how can we grow and improve our lives? Rethinking requires discussions, reading, and communicating with others, and allows us to answer new questions that arise. Life is constantly changing. Having the skills to adapt will foster resilience and happiness. Number 11, take care of your mental and physical health. Figuring out who you are and what makes you happy can't happen if you're not taking care of your physical and mental health. You only have one body and mind. Consider the consequences of choices that may jeopardize your health. Number 12, who are you? Derek Jensen has written extensively about the subsumption of the individual and the conversion of vibrant human beings into automata. Jensen's words and ideas are powerful. I agree with many of his points, especially when it comes to following our hearts to manifest who we really are. To find and cultivate happiness, you must ask yourself 3 questions. Who are you? What are you going to do with the short life you've been given? And how will you cultivate happiness in your life? It's my hope that these tips will lead you towards the path to happiness. You just listened to the post titled 12 Steps to Achieving Happiness by Tammy Strobel of rowdykittens.com. I'll keep this ending nice and short for you today. I'll just mention one more time that if you want to be in the book raffle happening tomorrow at midnight and make me happy, come join my free weekly newsletter at oldpodcast.com. And a new 30-day challenge is starting also on the 1st of the month. You can find all that info at oldpodcast.com. And thank you for being here and listening every day. I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday show, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.